There he go. There he go.
Here I am, man. I'm trying to get it to work,
Uh,
man.
can I?
Here we go.
Hey. So, is it Terrell or Terrell?
Terrell.
Terrell. Okay. Okay.
Terrell. My
All
bad,
right.
man. I was trying to. I don't know. I was having some technical difficulties. I was trying to get in here.
Hey, it's okay. You in here now?
Yeah, man. I'm glad to be here, man. I appreciate it.
No, I appreciate you. You ready?
I'm ready, man. Let's get it.
Cause I heard now. You got a hot date tonight.
Look, man. Nah, don't do that. Nah, don't do that.
Look,
Yeah.
it's okay. Hey, so let's go and get this thing started. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Book with Will. And today I have the honor and privilege of interviewing author Terrell Langston. Langford, I'm sorry. Langford.
Yes, sir.
How are you doing today?
I'm good, man. I'm blessed. I'm happy to be here. Happy to be here, man. It's good. I'm in here. I'm just honored to be here, man. I've been watching you for a little while, man, and I'm here now, so I'm good. I'm good now.
Look, I appreciate the opportunity. I do appreciate the opportunity. Now, tell everyone who you are and where you're joining us from.
So I am Arthur Terrell Langford. I reside in Atlanta, Georgia, by way of South Georgia, I guess. And I am a new indie author, fiction author. I've been doing this for a while. I wrote nonfiction previously, and so now I'm hopping over into the fiction world and trying my hand at fiction. And so I'm the author of The Lies We Tell, a collection of short stories. It's kind of aimed at kind of shining a light on the things that I feel like we in the diaspora don't really talk about. And so that's what we have with it.
All right, look, I gotta go off script for a second. Do you pull from them dirty birds?
I am not a dirty. No, I'm not a Falcon. I'm a New England Patriot.
Okay, okay. No, I'm a Steeler fan myself.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm not.
NFL, but for college, Bama all the way.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Now I'm a dog, man. I'm a dog. I'm a dog.
Okay. Look, we're gonna get along today. It's gonna be all right. It's
Man,
gonna be all right.
we gonna be good today.
All right. For anyone meeting you for the first time, who is author Terrell Langford?
Arthur Terrell Langford is he is a son, a brother, a husband, a friend. He is a poet. He's a lot of things, man. He kind of encompasses a lot of things. Funny enough, my pen name, Arthur Terrell Langford is my pen name, and it comes from the very first character that I developed, and in essence, was everything that I desired to be in terms of a creative. And so he is passionate, he is driven, he is someone who desires to tell compelling stories, and that's kind of who I am. I'm just somebody who I feel like was gifted the pen, and I'm just trying to do all I can with it. You know what I mean? Just trying to write stories that people want to read and that move people, that touch people.
Okay, that's what's up, man. I appreciate that. Look, man, you said you're a poet. You think you're blessed with a little poem before you get off the line?
Nah, man, we ain't gonna. Nah, I mean, maybe I'll think about it. Let me think about it. I ain't done
Look,
no, I ain't done no spoken word in a long time, man. So I don't know about that. I'm gonna have to. I don't want to be on here rested. You know what I mean?
I feel you. Look, no pressure, no pressure. If you feel it, hey, just let it flow.
I hear you.
All right, so describe yourself in 3 words.
Um, resilient, talented, um, and driven.
Okay, resilient, talented, driven. You want to expound on any of those?
Um, resilient. I have gone through a number of things in my life personally, from childhood, foster care and loss of my parents at a very early age, and just dealing with many, deaths and just different things throughout my life that I kind of feel like I've had the opportunity to live through and bounce back from. And I find myself even now in a position where um, I'm content, man. Like Paul said, I've learned to be content. You know what I mean? And so I find myself in just a space of resiliency. I feel like the Creator is always looking out for me and helping me to bounce back. I'm talented. I do think that I'm good at a number of things. It's not. I don't think it's like boastful or prideful, but I do believe that I'm good at certain things and that I'm grateful for those things and driven, man. I'm driven. I've always been a driven person. I've done a lot of things. I'm one of those like black sheep in my family. I feel like who has done a lot of the first things for my generation in terms of my family, in terms of who I have been for my family, in terms of just like schooling and relationships and a lot of things. And so, yeah.
Okay, I'm feeling that, man. That's look. Those are good adjectives to describe yourself. So I appreciate that. Um, excuse me. What's one thing that longtime readers know about you that new readers probably don't?
Um, I think a lot of people who know me um, are familiar with my style of writing. I have a very poetic take on the way that I write, especially with my fiction. I'm very expressive in the way that I write. I try to be anyway, just because I believe that visualization is a big part of writing, especially writing fiction. And that I'm passionate about what I write. I've always been passionate about the words. I put a lot of time in the words that I write because I think words matter. So I put a lot into what I'm writing. I think the new readers. I don't know. I hope that I gain new readers. I hope that they are ready for the type of author who is going to give them something different. For instance, I am. I like to think. I call my book "The Lies We Tell," therapeutic fiction. It's more literary fiction, more therapeutic fiction. The book I'm writing now that is set to come out either end of the year, early beginning of the year is a thriller. And so I hope that that I gain the kind of audience who is ready for an author to feel like each book that he's boxed in. I'm going to give you quality, a quality novel every time I write it, regardless of what genre it's in. I'm not going to box myself in. And so I hope that the new readers aren't, um, I hope they're open to, rocking with me regardless of what genre I'm in.
Okay, okay. Look, I saw a comment fly by somebody. You got some cosigners that said definitely driven. So hey, so some people feeling what you're feeling about yourself. That's a good thing to happen,
Gotta have the cosigns.
right? So look, what brings you joy outside of writing?
Outside of writing, I'm a therapist. I work in a psychiatric hospital. I work in the mental health field. I work people who struggle with mental illness, and it's a passion of mine. It's a passion to see people be better, to see people heal, to see people work their way through whatever they're dealing with in life. And so that's what I do outside of being an author, family man. I'm big on family. I'm big on just spending time, having fun. Just I look at it in sports outside of watching, trying to watch my pets get back to the Super Bowl, that kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Look, you said you're a psychiatrist. Let me ask you this now. Just
Yeah.
just just worrying over here. You've been watching my interviews. You have been psychoanalyzing me, have you?
No, man, no. You good, man. Nah, you good. I ain't been doing none of that. Now let me start. Let me start.
Look, look. I may need it now. I may need it.
Look, man, I think you're good, man. I think you're good. I think
I
you're
appreciate
good.
that. So, what does your perfect day off looks like?
My perfect who?
Your perfect day off.
Man, what's my perfect day off? My perfect day off is somewhere on either the belt line in Atlanta. I live in Atlanta. Somewhere on the belt line, at the park. I'm one of those outdoors kind of people. I need that vitamin D, that sunlight. I like to be outside. It's where I thrive. It's where I feel like I come alive. And so, on a perfect day, give me a coffee shop. Give me a nice walk on the belt line, a walk downtown, a walk in the park, somewhere outside. Lunch, dinner, somewhere social.
Okay, okay. Look, I'm stepping off script one more time for just quick. Now, My birthday coming up September 15th.
All right.
And me and my wife were thinking about getting a city pass. Now, how do you feel about the city pass in Atlanta?
I don't know, man. I've been here for a while. The city pass is cool if that's what you want to do. Like if you've never been to the city and you want to see, the aquarium and you're looking forward to the World of Coke and you want to do all those things that people do when they come here. If you've never been here, then I think the city pass is the way to go. But if you're looking for just some other things to do, and you want to know where to eat in the city, where to go in the city, what I'm saying, hit me in my DM, man. I'll put the itinerary together for you. I can get you around the city and show you some other things, in the city. Because I do, consider myself somewhat of a person who kind of knows and been around the city. So nothing wrong with the city pass. I mean, if you want to see those things, then definitely the city pass is the way to go. That's how you're going to see it, and for a good price. However, if you're interested in other things, other restaurants, arenas, other stuff, then I can definitely give you some suggestions offline.
Look, we definitely gonna hit you up. I saw Mr. Pope birthday September 17th.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Look, man, hit me up, man. Hit me up when you here.
Definitely gonna do that. Definitely gonna do that. Let's get back to it. If your writing career had a movie title, what would it be?
And my writing career had a movie title. Um, wow. Great Expectations.
Oh, okay. Tell me about that.
I believe, man. I wake up every day and I speak that I'm going to be a best-selling author every day. I speak it. I believe it. I believe that it's going to happen for me, and I have great expectations. I think you have to. Anything you do, you got to believe that you're going to do well at it in order for it to work for you. And that is, I mean, that's therapy talk too. That's CBT. That's cognitive behavioral theory. That's just thinking it and believing it and willing yourself to it. And so, I have great expectations for my career. I believe that I'm going to be a good, an author that people believe in and that people want to read. And because I believe that I'm going to write stories that people want to read. And so I have great expectations for my career, man. I feel good.
That's a good title because you have to have that for yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, who is? Who is?
100%. And people say it. I'm country, man. I'm from South Georgia. You know what I'm saying? And so, like Charles Dickens, somebody said Charles Dickens, right? Charles Dickens. I'm from South Georgia. And, one of the things that I hear my granddaddy used to say, that dog smell that filth. You know what I mean?
You're right. You're
You know what
right.
I mean? And so if you walk around in a position or if you walk around and you don't believe in yourself, how can you expect people to believe in you? If you don't think that the book you're writing is worthy of a reader, you know what I mean? If you don't believe in the book, how is somebody else going to believe in it? And so,
Or why should they believe in it? So,
right. Or why should they believe in it? You know what I
right.
mean?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Amen to that. So, when did you start writing, and what sparked you to start?
My mom, man, God rest her soul. I lost my mom when I was 9. My mom, I feel like
Sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear that.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. I feel like my mom gave me the gift of the pen. I think my mom did that for me. I've been writing for a very long time. I was writing sentences when I was 2. I think I won my first literary like writing contest thing when I was in kindergarten. It's been a long journey. But I didn't realize I was good until I won in high school. And that's when I started taking it serious. Like a lot of us black little black boys and teenage black boys, we wanted to rap, and so that's why I started. I started writing, the raps and all those things. And I just realizing that I was better than just that, and I think that's how I got into wanting to do poetry, wanting to be that kind of writer. And I'll say this, just throw it out there. When I was in the 5th grade, my teacher, Miss Waters, she is the one who introduced me to fiction through the Little House on the Prairie series, and we used to read that, and that's the thing that made me fall in love. Like I write a lot of genres, but like literary fiction is like I'm true. That's where I true to that. That's my heart. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of I think that's where I started with that whole Little House on the Prairie series, and just
Man, I love Little House on the Prairie.
the way that it was written, the way that it was delivered, it made me want to write in a way that would be expressive and in a way that would tell stories that made people feel good about what they were reading. And so, yeah, I started writing when I was young, man. I was a legit, as we say in, you know what I'm saying, in Florida, legit.
Little genius, I call it. Yeah, that's what's up. Now if you could go back and have coffee with the version of yourself who published their very first book, what would you tell them?
Um, my very first book. Probably do it again. Um, I started out in nonfiction.
Right.
And so the first book I ever wrote was called Drop the Weight, and it was just a book that's kind of helped people kind of reshape their mind. It was talking about mental weight. And I think after I wrote that book, even though the book was cool, I didn't feel super confident. I was still dealing with a lot of things internally, a lot of things mentally, and so it made me not want to do it. And I think where I am now, you know, if I can go back and speak to that guy, I would just encourage him, like, dude, like, if you got something good here, keep going. Don't wait so long to write your next book.
Okay, that's good advice. That's good advice. Looking back over your career, what moment do you consider your biggest turning point and why? That can be your professional career or your writing career. So expound on both of them if you want.
Um, Personally, I think my biggest, um, man, I don't know. I'll start with writing. There are some great questions. Let me start with writing. I think my biggest, I think the lies we tell, man. The lies we tell was my biggest. This book is my first fiction. Um, it's my first fiction novel, and it's something that I wanted to do. I wanted to write, even when I was writing nonfiction. My dream was always to be a fiction writer. I wanted to do it, and so to have a tangible copy of this book in my hands, and to know that I'm already working on my second one, like that is, holding this book was a big thing for me.
Oh, and we're gonna talk about them that book and what you're working on your whole call in a few minutes. So
Let me hold out then.
all right.
Life
All
wise,
right.
I think a major turning point for me, in terms of my own personal life, was just graduating and making it to college. I didn't come from a family who did that a lot, and not that they're not smart individuals or anything like that. It's just that where I come from, it's just hard for me to do that, and having to do that a lot, having to do it. Um, Having to do it without, with just a grandmother, and we struggled, man. We didn't have a lot of, the many days that we didn't eat, the many days that it was just me and her. And just knowing that I was able to, even through all that adversity, graduate and watching her walk across, watching me walk across that stage and going further. It was like, yo, like, all right, cool, let's do it. That was a major moment. And I mean, I went on to get many degrees, masters, and all kinds of stuff now. So it's like I did it.
All right, that's what's up. Now, what's one lesson you had to learn the hard way as an author?
Um, Not everybody gonna like what you write.
Look,
You know what I mean?
there's
Like,
a lot of truth in that.
not everybody gonna like it. You you want to write books that people like, and the harsh reality is that you will always have an audience. You're gonna have an audience, and every individual book you write will have its own audience. And so you have to have tough skin. You gotta be okay with the good comments and the bad comments. You can't be on Goodreads and want everybody to be like, oh, it's the greatest book I've ever read. You gotta get on there and be like, you gotta take the ones that's gonna give you 1 or 2 stars, and just like you take the ones that's gonna give you 5.
And along with that, you can't like you gotta take them, but you can't let it get you down. Cause like you said, your writings is not for everyone.
Right.
So you gotta take the good with the bad. The ones that love it, be grateful for them. The ones that don't, if they give a good reason to why, then take that to heart and see if that's something you want to improve on. But if it's like some petty stuff, like it didn't end how I wanted to end.
Right.
I
Right.
want this to happen to this character. You can't let that bother you because it's your book, your story to tell how you want it. Now, if you want to go write a book how you want it, go write that book.
Right.
This is
Right.
my book.
right? This is my book. This is my story. I built this world. This is my world, my story. I built.
Right.
You know what I mean? And yeah, but it's a hard lesson to learn. You know what I'm saying? Everybody ain't gonna like it, but it's all good.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, how has the person behind the pen changed from your debut release to the author sitting here today?
Um, he believes that it's possible. He believes in himself. He believes that he can do it. Like when I was writing the book, before the book released, even when I was marketing the book before it released, even before the pre-orders, um, I don't know if I believe the way that I believe now because it didn't feel real. It didn't feel real to me. But this guy sitting here now is like, oh yeah, I'm on the catalog. You know what I mean? Like this guy sitting here now is like every book that I have in my rollout for even for next year, I already got my rollout. So you know, every book that I release going forward, I'm going to do it. Like I feel confident. I know that I can do it because I've done it.
Yes, sir. I feel that. Now, what's one dream you already accomplished that your younger self wouldn't have believed was possible?
Um, college. Um, yeah, probably that. And not only college, but just the postgraduate portion of it. Just going, I haven't seen many people do it. I haven't seen many people succeed. And I watched that little boy with the low self esteem. I watched that little boy who had that tumultuous story, and my mom was an addict. If I can be a little vulnerable, my mom was an addict. She was murdered when I was 9 years old. I was born with a crack addiction. I was what they call a neonatal abstinence syndrome baby, which means I was born with an addiction to a substance. So I was like your technical 80s crack baby. That was me. And so my father, by the time I was 9 years old, my dad was gone too. You know what I mean? And so, um, there are just certain aspects when you grow up in a certain place. There are things you don't see, and so I had no plans on further. I always figured I would just go up and work and take care of my grandma and stay in my small town in South Georgia. I didn't think about I didn't think about seeing the world. I didn't think about the opportunities I would have, as it relates to higher education and being a writer and doing all these things. And so that opportunity just to even be accepted through a university. Not only was I accepted, the first college I went to, I had a full ride. So because I played drums, so I had a full music scholarship, so I had a full ride to Georgia Southern initially, and so that's how I kind of got my start.
Right. So let me ask you this. So, was your past history the reason you chose psychology so you can understand people's mind and how it works and what they do, why they do what they do?
Well, so I'm a social worker by trade, and so my master's is in social work. I've been a social worker now for almost 20 years, and I specifically chose social work because I did have the experience. I grew up in the system. I'm a product. I am a product of this. I've been foster care. I've gone through homes and seen how it's working. I wanted to be the type of I wanted to be able to give back in a way that I had not received all the time, and so it's always been a goal of mine to help those who help me. So the social work and mixed in with the psychiatry, the therapy piece, which is there, man. It was just with my own struggle. I struggled with depression and things and myself, and so I always felt like it does me a service to be able to help people get through the things they got through. It's like a calling that I didn't think I would have, but it's nothing that I do.
Okay, man, that's some good stuff. That's some good stuff, sir. Now it's that time of the interview where we get to know the author and his works. So, without further ado, can you introduce us to your catalog?
All right, so yeah, my catalog is so the first book I wrote was called Drop the Weight. It's a guide to helping people achieve it's like mental fitness. And so I wrote that book back in 2018. And it was pretty much what it did was it took you through a mental workout in order how to achieve your goal. So it's about achieving your goal. It's about how to reshape or reframe your cognitive aspect so that you can get to what you're trying to get to. And so I took you through a workout. I took you through how to, the proper way to stretch, so to speak, leg days, and how to work out, but you're working out your mind so that you can believe the things that you can believe them and you can get to them and you can attain those things. That was my first book, called Drop the Weight. Um, so I have a platform. My therapy platform is called Rise and Vibe. And so the signature book for that, the second book I wrote that came out in 2022 is called Beyond the Brick Wall. And so that book, that's my baby there. Beyond the Brick Wall is it pretty much I wrote it so that it would help brothers, men especially, um, learn ways to not only emote but to embrace transparency and vulnerability. And it kind of takes you. I mean, I talk about everything from financial literacy to mentorship to fatherhood to even the history of how we got to be where we are, all the way from the little boy to going into the man. And so it's kind of helps brothers break through that wall that we put up that kind of hinders us. And so Beyond the Big Wall came out in 2022. And my third and first fiction project was The Lies We Tell, collection of short stories. And so this book is um, I call this my love letter to the diaspora. I wanted if I was so I wanted to go fiction, but I didn't want to just hop into fiction. I wanted to tie the two worlds together because I still have a love for nonfiction. But I wrote a book that I consider to be therapeutic fiction. And so I consider this to be therapeutic fiction because I wanted to write a book that would speak to issues that we have, but also offer practical ways. So when you read these stories, it's 9 short stories that touch on many different topics and things that we struggle with in the Black community. Um, and even though they're fiction stories, they're made up stories. There's also a therapeutic aspect in there. And so not only am I talking about people who have gone through things or families or whatever, but I'm also everybody in this book found a practical way to get to what it is that they were trying to they were dealing with. And so this was my bridge, and so that's why I wrote that book. I wanted to like therapeutic fiction, and so this is my first fiction project, and it's a collection of short stories.
Okay, now look, y'all forgive me in the chat. Y'all know my vision not 100%, but I did see a question that says, "What made you cross over into fiction?"
Man, because I got so many stories in my. A lot of people who know me too, they know I'm scatterbrained too. Like fiction has always been so my fiction journey started back with. I've always been like a reader. I used to like to read a lot. My fiction journey began with like Jerome Dickey, Omar Tyree, Elan Harris, Toni Morrison, Terry McMillan. Like I grew up on those authors, and a lot of the way that they wrote. Like my favorite author, probably was a tie in the world. Um, it's probably Jerome Dickey. I'm trying between Jerome Dickey and Elan Harris, and the way that they wrote, the way they told stories. Um, I don't know. I just wanted to do that. I wanted to be a part of that world. And so I knew that as a writer, I was already doing poetry and those things. I didn't want to be a nonfiction writer forever. I wanted to tell stories. I had stories in my mind. I got a man. I got if you saw my notes right now, I got stories for days, bro. And I wanted to tell those stories. I wanted to have the opportunity to tell those stories. And I thought like, why not? No time like the present. So that made me decide that I'm gonna lay down in nonfiction for a while. I'm gonna go fiction, but I feel like I got some stories the world might want to hear.
Okay, so look, based on what you're saying, now you said Jerome Dickens is one of your favorite authors. So it says that you like a little spice.
Oh yeah, I like you gotta have the spice, man. You gotta have the spice, and I mean, I do. I like the spice. I'm gonna write the spice. I got my next book, the one that I'm writing now, has the spice also. Because I want it to be, as much as I like literary fiction, at heart, I'm probably gonna be more of a romance. A lot of the books I have rolling down next year are romance, because that's just where I am in terms of what I want to write right now. And so, yeah, you're gonna get the spice, you're gonna get the love, you're gonna get the emotion, but you're also gonna get the spice. I like the spice, man, and I think a lot of those guys they did well. They did that well.
Right now, in your book of short stories, is there any spice in that?
No, there's no spice in that. So that ain't. So you're not gonna get anything spicy in this book. This is pure therapeutic class literary fiction. There's no spice. There are just practical stories. I mean, you know, it might be implied maybe in one story, but there's no. That's not what this. That's not what the lies we tell is. The lies we tell is is pure lit fiction. You know what I mean? It's pure therapeutic fiction. There's no spice there. Maybe in
Well,
the
look,
future.
look, that's a good thing. If you can write a book, a whole book, that holds my attention with no spice,
Right.
just good stories. Look, you don't know a good book.
You have, and I think that's good. I think to be a romance author, to write those things. I think we, and this is Lord, I hope you don't cancel me for what I'm about to say, but I don't know. I think we lean so heavily on the spice aspect. I think that a lot of readers are just going into it looking for that. They're looking for spice. They're looking for those things. And I think you can do that, but you can do it in a way that, gives you, it satisfies what it is that that you're trying to get or what you want to do. But, I don't know. You have to be inundated. And so you'll get spice from me in the future. But, yeah, my current book there's some spice in it. So I'm sorry for all the people who might get the book looking for spice. There's no spice in there.
And look, I know it's I challenge my wife to do that, and I wish everybody would challenge themselves, their inner selves, to see if they can write a good book without spice, and it'll teach them a lot about their writing skills.
You can do,
So
yeah. I mean, I think there are many ways you can do spice and do it in a way that is not, your typical spicy, just over the top spicy. I think you can show two people exhibiting intimacy and being, intimate with one another and doing it in a way that you don't have to the whole book getting spicy. And I know that's what people are looking for, but at the same time, I also think that as authors, we have to be able to stretch ourselves and do those. And I think it'd be a big challenge to try to do that. You
yes,
know.
sir. Now, which book changed your career?
Um, change my. That's a tough one, man. That's a. I think Nathan McCall wrote a book called "Make Me Wanna Holler," um, and the rawness of that book. I read a lot of fiction. Fiction is cool, but that book was raw and real and emotional to me. And I think that it was the first time I had read a book that made me want to be authentically who I am. Um, yeah, that book changed me in terms of wanting to, you know, I read a lot of good books. Shawshank Redemption was a great one. The autobiography of Malcolm X was another great book. So yeah, I've read a lot of books that have made me be like, wow. But the book that always comes back to me, the book that I feel like was the first time that I knew I was going to write anything. And it's
Right.
just, most people might be like, "Oh, they want to holler," but that book was the first time that I read a book and I was like, I want to write. I want to write because I want to be real. I want to be as real as this book. Um, yeah.
Yes,
Did
sir.
you say it makes me want to holler?
Now you said, did you say makes me want to holler?
Make me want to holler. It's Nathan McCall.
Oh, she loved that book.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a good book.
Yes. So, which character was your favorite to write, and which one exhausted you emotionally?
That is a great question. It's so crazy you say that. I ain't even gonna give it away. My favorite, my favorite character to write in this book was Aisha. Aisha, so far has been, I think, everybody's favorite story. I think,
Somebody just said that. I hope you say Aisha.
uh, of men and women who read my book, it was crazy. They all have loved Aisha. Just because I think her story is relatable as it relates to someone who has had trauma or had to deal with certain things they haven't embraced and found unhealthy habits and had to find their way back to sanctity, their way back to healing. Um, Aisha was probably my favorite to write because I was able to put so much emotion in that character. My most tasking story I think that I had to write in terms of characters is probably Elijah and Queenie. It's those two. It's a mother and a son. It's the first short story in the book. And that story deals with a mother and a son. A mother who is dealing with grief. They both live in the in the South. The son Elijah is dealing with I like to say false homosexuality. He lives in a place where he's not able to completely be who he wants to be. And so he's having to not only hide it from, his job and everything, but he's also dealing with the fact that he cannot be as expressive as he would like to. And I think it's that dynamic of both of them living in a house together, both of them dealing with their own things, and neither of them seeking out that support and love in each other. It was a difficult story. I felt like for me to write. For one, I have a lot of respect for the community, but I'm not in the community, and so
Right.
I had to lean on just people that I knew, lean on just knowledge. It was a very tasking book to write. It's also hard to write. The majority of the book takes place. The majority of that story takes place in two rooms. Like they're in the kitchen most of the time, and so it's how do I tell this story and make this story make sense between these two people who spend all this time together, but in essence don't spend any time together. And so it was a very emotionally tasking piece to write. And probably took me the longest. It's the first story in the book, but it took me longer to write that one.
Right. Okay. I just want to take a second real quick to say I saw some new people came in. Just want to say welcome in, y'all. Today I had the honor of interviewing author Terrell Langford. If you missed the story so far, look, go back and check it out on the YouTube because he got an awesome story so far. So we're gonna continue on. Now, if someone could read only one of your books, which would you recommend and why?
The Lies We Tell is what I want everybody to know. Because I believe in the stories that I wrote. I understand that it might not be for everybody, but I believe in these stories, and I do think that it's a good book. I do. However, with that being said, I do Beyond the Brick Wall is my favorite. That is I spent time with that book, especially for men. That is a book I want my brothers to read because I think that there are some things that we can do to be better and to be, to get there. That's the therapy side of me, like always trying to push that book. But you asked which book would be first, and would definitely be The Lies We Tell, because it's the book that I really believe in this book. I really believe that regardless of what you read, I think that you'll find something in this book that you can relate to and that you would like.
Okay, okay. Now, was there a single moment that made you say, "I have to write this story"?
Um, yeah, there was. There are a lot of triggers in this book. And at a certain point in the book, I myself was being triggered by some of the things I was even writing based on my own experience in my own life. And so there was a point in the book that I knew I had to do it. I had to finish this book. I had to write this book because not only did I intend for the book to be good for someone else, it was healing me, it was helping me. And so I think there were moments in there where I was like, no, I got to do this. I got to do this. I got to finish this.
Okay, okay. So tell me, excuse me, one second. What's a book you almost didn't write, and what changed your mind?
Drop the weight. My first book, I almost didn't write it, but I felt like I needed to write it because I promised God that I was gonna write it. So I wrote it because I felt like I promised God I was gonna write it. I almost didn't write it. I was afraid to write it. Um, Drop the Weight came at a time where I was struggling with my mental health. I was struggling with my physical health. And that book came from a conversation that happened with me in the wee hours of the morning. I woke up with chest pains around 4 o'clock in the morning, and I was laying in the bed, with my wife at the time, and we were in bed, and I felt like I was having chest pains, and I genuinely thought I was going to die. And I was like, Lord, don't let me die by my wife in this bed. And be like, if you need the opportunity to change, to figure this out, I will do it. Um, and that conversation not only sparked my change for wanting to do better in terms of my mental health and my physical health, but it also sparked something in me. And I was like, I got to tell somebody what I did because my first book is 100% what I did in order to change or reframe how I was thinking in order to attain or get to the goals that I was set out to reach.
Right. All right, so let's get into your penmanship now. What does your writing routine looks like?
Um, I lean very poetic, and I don't know how to even explain that. I'm a very visual. I'm very like metaphor simile heavy. I'm very expressive in terms of like that poetic spoken wordish kind of thing. So a lot of what you read, a lot of what you will read with my books is, I hope, a lot of imagery, a lot of poetic pieces. I like to throw poems and poetic pieces in my books. A lot of my characters have introspective thoughts, and a lot of their introspective thoughts that they have come from spoken word and those things. Yeah, I enjoy words. I like. I don't know. I don't know. I like to express myself heavily as it relates to words. And so sometimes I can, you know, I don't know.
And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that at all. I know earlier you told us what you're working on, but it's some new people in here. So can you tell us what you're working on right now?
Yeah, I'm working on for the new people. I want to preface it like this. I do want to say that if you are, hopefully if you're following me and you're supporting me, I do. I don't want to box myself in. So I'm not one of those authors who's going to tell you, oh, you're going to always get romance, you're going to always get this. So the next book I'm working on currently that I'm hoping to in January. It's a thriller. And it kind of follows a couple who have gone through some things. And I don't want to give it away, man. Something happens with the couple, and one of them goes off the deep end. And so it's like this journey um, to not only rectify what happened, but to regain sanity. And so it's more of a thriller. I like to call it a romance thriller, but it's definitely more of a thriller. And I don't want to give too much of it away, but you'll in the coming months you'll see you're gonna start seeing a lot of promotion for it. I'm excited about this book. It's gonna, for those of you who have purchased The Lies We Tell and you are convinced that you know what kind of writer I am based off of this right here, do not. It won't be anything like what you're reading here. It's a thriller. It's gonna be really good.
Look,
Um,
we got a few authors in the chat that love some thrillers.
Listen, look, I'm trying to look. I'm trying to give it. This is definitely. I laugh because I call it a romance thriller, just because it's passion, but it's a lot more. It's a lot more. And the storyline is good. It's detailed, and I think it's going to be a really good book. And I'm excited about it. I'm really excited about this book. Yeah. So I'm out here trying to. I'm out here trying to do. I'm out here trying to make sure that I can give everyone a quality book. So you're gonna get suspense in that book. You're gonna get the thriller aspect. You're gonna get the romance. You're gonna get pieces, but it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
Okay. Like it, you don't want to give too much, but
Yeah, I'm trying. I don't want to give too much of it away.
so we're gonna move on away from it. Then we're gonna move away from it. Are there any new genres you'd like to explore?
Yeah. I definitely want to. So I would like to get into. I want to write a literary fiction novel. I think the majority of what I'm gonna write is romance because I enjoy romance. But I have a book that I want to write, and it's lit fic. Um, that it's gonna be a one that I want to write that I think is gonna be good. And I'm going to talk heavily about my mom. So it's set to roll out next year, but we gonna pray for it because I don't know. It's definitely gonna be a one that's kind of hard to write. But I want to write. I want to write literary fiction. I don't know if I'll write a lot of it because I think the majority of what I desire to write is going to be romance. However, um, literary fiction, I probably won't do horror. I'm not really like a horror kind of writer, but yeah.
Okay, okay. Now, what goals do you have for next year?
I'm trying to. The plan is to release 3 books next year. That's the goal. That's the goal. Is to try to. Yeah, I just want to improve, and I'm trying to get better. I want to be a better writer. I hope to network more and just be able to kind of network with more people and just try to more indie authors. And happy Black Indie Author Day to all my indie authors out there. But my goals are just to continue projects. I hope to release 2 novels and a novella next year. And so that's the goal. That's where I'm at. That turns my role out. Um, yeah, those are my goals. And just to continue getting better, to continue to be a better writer, more opportunities, more exposure, more opportunities to network with people. And, you know,
Okay. Now look, if you've been following my lives and you've been checking me out, you know, I tell everybody from one interview I had, in order to get your writing goals completed, you got to get out the drafts.
you do. You got to get a draft, man. Look, man. Listen, you do. And that's the hardest part. That's the hardest part, especially on the days you don't feel like writing. You got to write, man. I try to make it a goal to write anywhere from 600 to 1,000 words a day. Um, and it's something that I've tried to foster because I know me, and I know when you take them breaks and you find yourself like not writing, that's when you, oh no, I guess I won't do it. I won't, I won't. When you take the breaks come more frequently, and so you just got to get out of there. Just got to do it. Just got to do
Right.
it.
Like I said, be consistent. Be consistent. It is possible. Let's have a little fun with it now.
Yeah, about 5 minutes.
Okay, let's do a little thing called this or that.
Okay. And real quick, I thought my alarm was going off. Okay, you good? You good? Sorry.
Oh,
My alarm, I don't know what they got going on, but yeah, I'm good. Let's go.
okay, let me see. Hold on. I'm gonna try to shorten this cause I know.
Oh no, you good? Let's do it. Let's do
Attention, please. There has been a report of
Okay.
an emergency. Proceed calmly to the
Are
nearest
you a
exit
plotter
and
or a
move
pantser?
immediately. Do
it.
not
You said a plotter or a who?
Pantser.
Plotter.
Okay. Romance or suspense?
Romance.
Coffee shop or home office?
Coffee shop.
Slow burn or love at first sight?
Slow burn.
All right, let's do a thing called finish the sentence. Writing is
Writing is my passion.
my readers are
My readers are people who enjoy. My readers are people who enjoy a great storyline. I don't-
all right. Success looks like
Success looks like never giving up.
right. All right. Every author should
Every author should always practice or always hone their craft. Every author should always be writing.
all right. All right. I'll never
Um, I'll never stop writing.
I hope readers never. Not never. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It just. Hold on. I hope readers remember.
I hope readers remember. Can I pass? Can I skip that one and come back?
Okay. Okay. Would you rather lose every manuscript or every social media account?
Every social media account.
Would you rather? Would you rather be able to write only during the day or only at night?
Night.
Would you rather meet your favorite author or meet your favorite character?
Favorite character.
Okay. And then would you rather write without music or write without snacks?
Without music. I need my snacks.
Okay. Okay. All right, let's get to the hot seat questions real quick. Which character would you marry?
Well, I'm married, but if I was single, in my book, probably I probably, you know, I ain't no judge. I ain't judging nobody. I probably marry Aisha. She got it together at the end.
Which character deserves an apology?
Um, Aisha deserves an apology, but I think that I think Irma deserves an apology.
Irma?
She's another one of the characters in my book. You just got to read. Yeah, it's another character. And one of the yeah.
Yeah, that's why I'm moving on. 'Cause I don't want to get too much of your book.
Right.
Which book deserves a movie?
The lies. Yeah, the lies. I mean, it can definitely be a movie.
Okay. Now, if any, which book are readers sleeping on?
I think they're sleeping on the lies, man. I'm telling you, I really feel like from what I was hearing, I think a lot of people looked at the book and probably read a little bit, and I don't know if they really buying in the way I think they should buy in. But I think that it's going to be a book that you not. I made a video today, some content today, and I was talking about how my book may be one of those books that you might not be ready for it now, but you might come back to it. It might be something that maybe years down the line you might read again and be like, you know what, this resonates with me now. And so I understand that it might be a book that might not be for people right now, but TBR now, I ain't against me. I ain't against my book being TBR. Hold on to it. You know what I mean? Read it
Yes,
later.
sir.
You know what I mean? And so,
Yes, I feel that. Yes, sir. Definitely. Now, what legacy do you hope your books leave behind?
a legacy steeped in the will to keep going, the desire to want more, to have more, and the recognition or the just the realization that love matters and that love is always will always win, regardless. Um,
Okay.
regardless of what the situation looks like, regardless of where you find the love will always win.
Yes, sir. Now, what's one question you never been asked that you wish someone would ask you?
Um, One question I never asked, I wish somebody would ask me. Um, Would you like to win the lottery today?
Say it one more time.
Would you like to win the lottery today?
Look,
Ask me that question. Dude, yeah.
if I could grant that, I'll ask that question. But I can't grant it. Ain't no even asking that.
Right. I don't know, but on a more serious note, I wish that um, I don't know if I was ever asked a lot in my life how I was feeling. That's not something that I've been asked a lot in my life. I check in on a lot of people, but being checked in on, especially early in my life, wasn't something that I got asked a lot. And early on in my life, I wish more people would have checked in and asked me how I was feeling. What is the thing?
Now, Arthur Terrell, I know I asked earlier just conveniently, but really, how are you feeling?
I'm good, man. I'm content. I think I'm in the best. I think at the age I am now, I think I'm finally in a place in my life where I've found the thing that makes me happy. I'm content with where I am, and I'm at a place. I'm also at a place in my life where no has truly become a complete sentence for me, and so if it does not align with what I desire, if I'm not feeling like I'm being fully served or if I'm being benefiting from it, and I'm in a place in my life now where I'm like, yo, if it ain't serving me, I can't do it. I don't want to do it. So I'm feeling good, man. I feel good about everything. And you know, I
And
have
so,
my days. I have my days like everybody, but overall, man, I feel pretty good, man. Thank you for asking. How you feel?
I feel good. I feel good. Every day I get to do the interviews with new authors that I haven't, a lot of them I haven't heard of. It's a good feeling. It's a good feeling to help people to get their story out and just tell about their catalog and about their writing styles and just how they're doing. So I'm happy to be able to do that.
You definitely put people on. I ain't gonna lie, man. I applaud you. I just to give you your flowers, man. I applaud your effort. I applaud what you're doing because you're really providing a platform for people who may not be keen on who authors are. There are some authors that I've discovered on your platform that I had never heard of. And so kudos to you for even wanting to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And to your better half also, kudos to both of y'all for even, doing it like this and making this kind of platform possible for indie authors like myself to introduce, me to people who might not know who I am.
Yes, sir. I thank her because I couldn't do it without her, and without y'all, I can do it without her, and I can do it without y'all. So I thank y'all. I thank her. Now, Arthur Terrell Langford, thank you so much for spending time with us today. It has truly been a pleasure getting to know you and hearing more about your journey and your incredible books. Now, before we let you go, tell everyone one last time where they can find you and where they can purchase a book.
So you can find me on all platforms, TikTok and Instagram at author Terrell Langford. You can go to my website to purchase any books, www.authorterrellangford.com. That's where you'll find all my books. That's where you'll find information. Check me out. I'm always on TikTok. Shoot me a message. So if you have any questions about anything, TikTok and Instagram. Those are my platforms. So that's where you're gonna find out what I got going on. You're gonna find out about the books and everything. But yeah, Author Terrell Langford on all platforms.
All right, thank you so much for that. Do we have any church announcements today?
Well, I'm thankful for Terrell Langford stopping through, getting to know him, and I went and grabbed his book, and I will be starting it tonight.
That's
That ain't the church announcements. Tomorrow we have Dominique Shaw
Dominique saw tomorrow, y'all.
coming tomorrow, so be sure to tune in to that. If you
Mm-hmm.
have not followed the official Book with Will YouTube channel, be sure to follow it because all interviews are posted directly there as well. And also, we are booking for September. So if there are any authors, readers, content creators, small business owners, all of the above that would like to come up and sit down and talk to Will, we're currently booking for September. So just inbox me and I will get you on the calendar. That's all the church announcements.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Now, are all hearts and minds clear?
all hearts and minds are clear. You can go ahead and benediction.
All
I'm
right.
not the benediction.
Okay, to everyone watching, if you enjoyed this conversation today, please support this amazing author. Buy a book, leave a review, recommend him to a friend, and continue supporting independent authors. Until next time, I'm Will. And this has been Book with Will with author Terrell Langford. As always, stay blessed and stay booked with Will.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you. Bless you.
No, thank you, sir. Y'all have a blessed night. See y'all tomorrow.